Welcome to Way of Weinstein, Season 4, Episode 2, Broad City, Twaining Day. So before I get started, happy Rosh Hashanah, Lashana Tova. For those that need a last-second place for a morning service tomorrow, direct message me. I'm going to a nice one in the financial district, Lower Manhattan of New York City. I don't want to say the location a lot, but if you want a location, direct message me and I'll provide you with it. I'll be there. For those that are celebrating, Lashana Tova, Happy Rosh Hashanah, Happy New Year. Okay, to the episode. Alright, so it was good to see them back in current day. Not that I don't appreciate 2011 in New York City, which that was the Giants won the Super Bowl, but that's another topic for another story. Okay, so episode starts. So they're escorting a woman to a clinic which seemed like it was for abortion, and then they were they were smoking, and they just completely blow it in people's faces, and then you see that guy who's like all critical. You see him with a huge chocolate chip cookie that looked amazing. It's like, what am I doing? And that was pretty funny. Okay, so you see Abby starting a new job. She seems to be crushing it. And Wanda's the boss, which I love that. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Curb. And Wanda, whenever she was on Curb, that was fantastic. So if she's going to be a recurring character, I absolutely am a big fan of that. So that seems awesome. And then you see Alana, which I had to like go back and see what the note said. So it said, "Thanks for the bang hang. Took some toiletries. Lata," spelled Lata, and she takes a potato. Classic Alana. So since Alana has a waitress interview with RuPaul at this place called Sushi Mamba, she can't fill for Abby to pick up the package which she had delivered at Solstice, which is one of the main arcs of the episode. So then this puts Abby in a bad situation where she needs to lie to Wanda, decides to pick up the package. Now, when Alana's going for the interview, she doesn't get it at first because she's being too nice, and which Alana can go 0 to 100 for being a bitch, and which I thought, like, yeah, Alana, you should easily get the job. And then she just puts it up 0 to 100, completely insults him, makes a remark about it, saying how it was on Sex and the City 25 years ago. It has a B rating, like, slow your roll, stay in your lane. So, and then RuPaul respects that, and hires her. So obviously, and Abby has to go to Solstice to pick up the package, wants to avoid Trey. She sees Shania Twain there, which for the whole concept is she's been lying that she trains Miss Shania Twain, and then she just loses it, the fact that she's actually going there. And then we goes to Alana training for the waitressing job where she has to be a super bitch, and to Abby where she's trying to get the photo of Shania Twain, like this big Mexican trainer scolds her and looks like she was going to break her wrist. And then trails her back. He has a confrontation with him. Essentially how there's obviously a lot of hostility since they used to hook up, and then they had a bad breakup, saying that he means nothing to me, yada, yada, yada. Which we know that they're going to get back together. I mean, something's happening. I mean, something did happen this episode. I'm going to get to that a little later. So, because he probably still has feelings for her, he lets her train Shania with her. And back to RuPaul. He's introducing Alana to the staff, saying all their nicknames. The one girl got a text from Drake and didn't text him back. A couple nicknames. And to Shania, she's being difficult. He says, "I'd rather just go home and watch Friends," which Friends is a great show. It's a good show. Not Seinfeld or Curb, but it's a good show. I've seen every episode of, and it's very, I'd probably say a top top 10 show if I were to rank my top 10 shows. And they all start talking about Friends, and then Trey does his Ross impression, which was I get it, which is funny that Shania didn't really get it, and Abby's really laughing. So we know from there that they're getting back together. It's just obvious. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a whole recurring thing throughout the episode, where they're on and off, or they're just getting involved physically, or if they get back together to being in a relationship. Time will tell. So it's funny that Alana is actually crushing it at the new job by insulting customers, saying you're too old, paying with Medicare, you can't say this, you can't order this. Where did you get it from here? The one young girl's dad owned H&M, and she's having problems with RuPaul's character is really impressed by this, promotes her to Section 2. And she's having difficulty insulting because she says she builds people up, and she trips the other Tanya, which is what got RuPaul to be really impressed by her. So then this is the whole next part is like the whole sexual tension of the episode when they're doing the bungee flies, and when Abby's doing them, it's got Trey all hot and bothered, and then when Trey's doing them, it literally looked like Abby was about to like right then and there, and that's why they needed to stop. And it was hilarious when they were doing the assisted scorpion stretch to stretch their hands and glutes, where she goes to her favorite position, and Trey comments on that, saying that's the complete wrong position for the stretch, which that was pretty funny. And when they're doing that, you can obviously see the tension. And Shania knows that something's off, and it's funny saying how not all people from Canada are prudes, and then saying you gotta ride the spark, and then she essentially creates a voice memo, which wouldn't be shocked if that becomes like a song. Maybe that'll be played at the end of the season. And then Abby straight goes for it with Trey. So with that, I mean, she's just waiting for him to say it, which I didn't remember that the word was bazinga. I mean, I'm a huge Big Bang Theory fan, so I thought that was funny. And then they keep getting it on. And then back to Abby. She's complimenting the customers and then getting them to order more, saying more cushion for the pushing, yada, yada, yada. You look stoned. You're going to order more stuff. Thanks to tinfoil. And then Abby keeps omahaing to different locations, and then, which is just funny. And back to Alana. You see, I'm omahaing back from Abby to Alana, because this was kind of like a back and forth episode of Abby and Alana, where they weren't really together that much throughout in the episode. And then, so Alana ends up making $800, which is the most. RuPaul said she skipped the gold, went straight for the green. And so Mini-Me is trying to have this heartfelt conversation. So the reason I took the job is because I wanted to reconnect with my dad. Like, Alana, classic Alana, just, I don't give a fuck. Just completely storms out. And then, so it turns out that, back to Abby. So Abby and Trey are having intercourse in the sauna. Shania completely catches them. And then, it's funny that Trey has a penile fracture. And then, the next part, I think it's going to be the whole crux of the season for Abby, saying that she's not a relationship girl. And you can tell that actually really hurt her, which, I mean, yeah, what she did to him was kind of fucked up. But she did say that she texted him a lot, so obviously they both hurt each other, but that was mean. It was, but... And then Abby overcompensates that by just asking for the paramedics number, which she really doesn't care about, but just for maybe a rebound or yada, yada, yada. And then Abby shows Lana the Shania photos, and she's like, "Oh my God, you actually did that!" Like she thought she was lying throughout the whole episode. And then Abby says, "Honesty is the best policy." And then really she's talking about Trey, but she's talking about, oh, Mike, my new boyfriend that I'm dating, which, yeah, I don't think he's going to be in another episode. That ain't going to happen. So with that, and it's funny that the package we learn at the end of the episode, it's a 4-year supply of Plan B, and this way they're stacked, and if they get any other female friends, which they're not getting, so overall, that covers my rundown of what happened in the episode. Overall, there was a lot of minor things that I thought that I chuckled and laughed. There's nothing that I thought was that hysterical. I mean, granted, it's building. The preview for next week, they're having a party, and we see Lincoln, who Hannibal Buress, great character. I'm excited to see what happens with that. But yeah, overall, Broad City is one of those shows that goes for it's very courageous and goes for different spots that most shows won't go for. And congrats to Alana Glazer. I watched last night's Tonight Show and saw that she recently got married. So congratulations to her. Mazel tov. Way to ring in the new year. But yeah. So join me back for next week's. And again, before you know it, October 1st! Curve! 6-year hiatus. Whew. But yeah, that's October 1st. So before then, we have the season 4 episode 3 episode of Broad City. That'll do it. Yeah. All right. Have a good night. If you have any questions regarding the place for morning services, send me a message. More than happy to give you a place if you want a Rosh Hashanah service. I think it'll be led by Rabbi Katz, who I've been going to the last couple of years. Rabbi Katz is excellent. But yeah, Lashana Tova for those celebrating. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.